Hey again, people. Man, more cops out of control. The problem with this is no government agency is ever held responsible for this. They're always blaming the officer, and then the department comes out, oh my God, this was a shock. We had no idea. Then we find out there was previous discipline, and they knew the guy was doing this, and they did absolutely nothing. There's case law about negligent retention, and government agencies and supervisors can be held vicariously liable for failure to document, failure to train, failure to terminate, failure to take action by condoning bad conduct. I mean, there's just all kind of laws out there that would hold people above accountable, and they don't. This was a pretty brutal case. Let's watch the news report on this.
Good evening, I'm Cynthia Arsenault. An update tonight in our continuing coverage of a former Lake Charles police officer who pleaded guilty to using excessive force. Dashcam footage released by the Lake Charles Police Department shows what happened that night. KPLC's Chandler Watkins has tonight's top story.
The May 27 police chase started after a Mazda Tribute on Interstate 10 almost hit a Lake Charles police unit, according to the offense report. After a 9-minute chase and pit maneuvers, the suspect's car spun out. It was Officer Robert Hammock's car that crashed head-on into the suspects.
Okay, so we have this guy who claims he was on his way to doctor school when the cops stopped him for no reason. Evidently, they got his speeds at 114 miles an hour. They had several times, they spike stripped his tires. He was still going. They had 4 different pit maneuvers, and the last one worked. When you're chasing somebody like this becomes a felony crime, and you should do felony stops. The fact that they're running up, if this girl would have got shot in the face because she's playing hero, running up to a car, she knows nothing about this guy. He's already demonstrated he's a danger to the public and he's a danger. And she runs up there without her gun in a holster. She's going to be Miss I am woman, I am cop, and opens the door and starts grabbing and punching him. Had she been killed, it would have been, oh, she's a hero and she did a great job. Because she wasn't killed, nobody's saying anything about her absolutely horrible felony stop procedure to run up. Now, she's just one of the many. There's about 5 or 6 dudes that come in here and show her bad judgment up. So let's keep going.
Dashcam video shows several officers surrounding the car, attempting to pull.
Okay, so this guy right here is the one that pled guilty. He just couldn't wait to get in there and punch this dude. He was all over it, jumped in there and started punching. Does anybody believe this is what's called minimum force necessary to complete the arrest? Does anybody believe that government is held to a higher standard and these officers are trained and they've had background checks and they have AR-15s, but they're going to come get your AR-15s because you shouldn't have one? Does anybody believe that because these guys are trained in background check that this isn't going to happen more after they come get AR-15s? Well, you're an idiot. Let's watch this guy come barreling in here.
Attempting to pull the man from the car. But it's Hammock's actions that led to an excessive force investigation. He's seen entering the passenger side of the car.
I mean, these guys are just on a feeding frenzy. It's like somebody said, hey, they hit a donut on this guy. Who can find it first? There's more damn hands in there than you can believe. And it's just outrageous. Coming in the back seat, 2 coming in the door, 2 coming in Now you're going to see this one knucklehead, this guy right here. I might point out that he's bald. I'm just pointing that out, not making any conclusions. He can't get past the other 2 officers beating this guy. He gets so excited in a feeding frenzy, he jumps on the hood, climbs over this car, jumps on the woman officer to get in the car. Really? Come on, Rick, it wasn't that bad. Okay.
Pulling the man toward him and repeatedly punching him.
Here recently in the news, headlines have shown that a former...
Okay, we'll just skip this guy. I'll tell you his company line. We're sorry, we didn't know, we took action, we terminated him, we don't condone this, we have high standards, blah, 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 blah. Anybody ever heard that before? Just about every use of force case out there.
Caldwell released a video statement online where he called the dash cam footage, quote, disturbing, and said the police department made some errors. Disturbing.
Here's the dude coming over the car. Look at the guy coming over the car. Look at this. I'm going to get in. I'm going to climb over here. Look at him straddling the window to throw punches from on top. Whatever.
That incident, the department learned of 2 others involving Hammock shooting a pepper ball gun at someone. The department says learning of those events, along with the results from an internal investigation, led them to recommend Hammock be fired. Hammock.
Okay, so like usual, when they catch a cop doing something like this, they're like, oh shit, man, we better pull some other stuff because we don't want to get caught with our pants on. The government isn't investigating this guy to protect you. They're investigating this guy to protect themselves because they know they're going to look bad when these other tapes come up, when defense attorneys start subpoenaing these records and videotapes and calls and stops. So they go back and check and go, man, we better find it before the defense attorney, otherwise we'll lose the case. Oh, we found it. Okay, we'll act surprised. We'll go out there and they say, as soon as we saw this, we took action. They don't say that you allowed him to do it, you condoned it, you didn't catch it when it happened, nobody reported it. If they did report it, you ignored it. They don't say that. They act like they're Johnny on the spot, and due to their great investigation, they went back and found this guy was pepperballing some homeless dude and laughing about it. But nobody knew about that before. But now they're outraged, and now they're taking action. Why? Because it'll look better when they go to court on this action.
But instead chose to resign in November 2017. Since his resignation, 7 News has learned of 2 civil suits where Hammock is named a defendant regarding his alleged actions while on duty. We're told those cases are pending. At your service in Lake Charles, Chandler Watkins, KPLC 7 News.
Okay, so this guy, I mean, he's just the epitome of professional. Rick, did they train that in the academy? Oh yeah, this is an approved technique. It's called monkey jumping on the car, straddling the car door like you're freaking riding a mechanical bull while you're punching a suspect in the head, knocking other officers out of the way. Yeah, that was a approved technique at the academy. Freaking idiots! And there'll be people out here saying, if we only had more government, we'd be better off. If we only had more government to watch government, we'd be better off. If we only raised taxes so we could hire more government to watch the already incompetent government, then we would be safe. If we only got the guns from those pesky gun right activists, then we would be more safe. Out freaking rageous. I think someone else did a video on this. Okay, I guess police activity has the body cam footage, and you'll just show the sirens on this, but same video. One, two, three, opening the back door so he can get punches in the back. 4, 5, 6, 7. Here comes another guy. 8. Man, if we only had more government, we'd be so much safer. Most of these male cops know the female is pretty much ineffective, so they all move in to take action because they know she's not going to get it out. Anybody believe that she would have got this guy out without all these guys here? Come on. I don't think any of these guys would have got him out by themselves without all these other guys here. They damn sure wouldn't have got him out if all these guys were girls. Rick, you can't say that. I'm just making an observation, people. You can make your own decision. I can't have an opinion anymore. Not on CommieTube. Stop resisting. 8 cops punching you in the head. Stop resisting. Now look, I'm not saying this guy's a good guy, and I'm not saying that he didn't endanger the public, and I'm not saying that they shouldn't have spike stripped him and they shouldn't have rammed him. I'm saying that a chance to beat somebody should not be the goal of law enforcement on these stops. These guys could have easily been back at their car doing a felony stop at gunpoint, ordering him to put his hands up, get out of the car, failure to comply, we're going to put pepper spray, we're going to call a dog. There's plenty of things they could have done. Could have had a couple guys go up there, one guy with a gun, undercover, maybe tase him. This was a total emotional, out of control. This is what government keeps telling us about how, no, Rick, they have training. We just need more backgrounds on you citizens. All these people had backgrounds. All these people carry an AR-15. All these people aren't getting called in for red flag laws. No. That's just for you pesky citizens. These are professional government, highly trained, background tested and approved. I mean, come on, people, wake up. This bald guy over here just takes a cake from me. Alright, well, in that there, you can tell me how I'm hating on these poor good cops and all cops are good. This is an isolation. Not all cops are this way, and you're just pointing out a couple of bad apples. Look, you don't see all this, and it's just a couple bad apples. Sound like the damn liberals saying that crime isn't a problem and that illegals are good for the country. Give me a freaking break. This is not an isolated incident. Oh, I almost forgot. I need to get in. So in a letter of discipline from the chief of police, it stated that Hammock, the officer, delivered several strikes to the suspect in a hard, empty-handed control method. This is cop lingo. This is what, when I'm teaching weaponless offense, this is what I tell you. Empty-handed control holes, empty-handed strikes, palm heel strikes, bottom fist strikes, elbow strikes, knee strikes. We don't call them beating and kicking. We call them empty-handed hand control method. Hammock advised in your statement that this was done to protect fellow officers from the suspect fleeing again and possibly striking an officer with his vehicle. Okay, the guy with flat tires and he rammed another car and he looked like he kind of put his hands up when the cops mauled him. The investigation revealed this was not probable, meaning the chief did not believe that's why he did it. The strikes you delivered to the suspect were not consistent with training provided by the Lake Charles Police Department and were deemed to not be reasonable and necessary, which means he violated policy, which means the agency can wash their hands, and now if somebody wants to sue, they can't sue the agency because the agency took action and said, we have policy, he violated it, we're cutting him loose. No more immunity. According to Lake Charles Police Department's Train Division Internal Affairs, the letter goes on to state that the chief directed that for this violation, you're hereby suspended for 10 days. We call that 10 days on the beach. Order to attend employee-assisted program for anger management. I wonder how many cops go through anger management. And I wonder if going through anger management makes you subject to a red flag law. Because if it doesn't, then they shouldn't be able to enact red flag laws on lawful gun owners unless they give them the opportunity to go to anger management. They're giving government thugs training who are carrying those mean AR-15s. They're letting them go to anger management. But you pesky tax-paying citizens, you just don't need the mean AR-15, no matter what you do. Outrageous. Anyway, we'll end that there.